69-year-old Gloria Hansell lived in Gary, Indiana in 1994. She was a widow who lived alone at her Buchanan Street residence. Gloria was reliant on an in-home oxygen machine due to poor health. On June 17th of 1994, a family member visited Gloria. When the family member entered her home, they found Gloria's body. An electrical cord from a box fan was tied around her neck. An autopsy revealed that Gloria had also been assaulted. Investigators were then able to collect male DNA from her body. For years, Gloria's case went unsolved. During a new look in 2020, the FBI's Gang Response Investigative Team enlisted the help of the Indiana State Police Lowell Regional Laboratory in analyzing the suspect's DNA collected at the crime scene back in 1994. DNA testing led investigators to 60-year-old Gerald Lynn Smith. He lived close to Gloria when the crime was committed. A witness who came forward claimed that Smith visited Gloria on at least 2 occasions in the week leading up to her demise. The witness stated on one occasion Smith asked Gloria if he could cut her grass for money, but she declined his offer. On another occasion, Gloria told the witness that Smith made an unwanted advance towards her inside her house that made her uncomfortable when he tried to kiss her on the neck. When interviewed by investigators at Madisonville, Kentucky Rehabilitation Center, Smith denied any involvement. On September 30th of 2022, Smith was arrested and charged with taking Gloria's life. The FBI acknowledged the work of several law enforcement agencies, including the Gary Police Department, the Lake County Police Department Crime Scene Unit, and officials in Hopkins County, Kentucky. Smith has not yet entered a plea. He was 32 years old when the crime took place. 40-year-old Holly Marie Cantrell lived in McAlester, Oklahoma in 2017. She had 3 children and was pregnant with a 4th. On January 20th of 2017, Holly was seen in surveillance footage leaving her job at McAlester Regional Health Center around noon for her lunch break. The last reported sighting of Holly that day was at 12:20 p.m. at a restaurant about a 7-minute drive from her workplace. When she did not make it back to work, she was reported missing. In February of 2018, a hunter found human remains in an isolated part of Oklahoma's Cardinal Point Recreation Area. The bones were scattered over an area measuring about 50 yards by 50 yards. Among the bones found was a partial skull. Police also recovered a bra and the remnants of what appeared to be green clothing. The remains were sent to the National DNA Database for Missing and Unidentified Persons at the University of North Texas for identification. In February of 2020, Pittsburgh County Sheriff Chris Morris announced that the remains uncovered in 2018 belonged to Holly Marie Cantrell. He said, "At this point we don't have a lot of leads. We're going to brief detectives tomorrow and work towards making an arrest to bring justice for the family." Tommy Cantrell, Holly's brother, posted a message confirming the news to Facebook. "I hate to post this on here, but this way I can get it out to everyone. It is with a sad and heavy heart to tell this, but we have got the report back from Texas. The remains found were Holly's. Please keep all of us in your prayers as we go through this," he wrote. On October 17th of 2022, 36-year-old Cody Ketchum was arrested in connection with Holly's case. Evidence found on Ketchum's cell phone through execution of several search warrants led to the indictments. Ketchum was booked into the Pittsburgh County Jail, where he is being held on a $1 million bond. 5-year-old Annie Pham lived in Seaside, California with her family. She was the youngest of 10 siblings. On the morning of January 21st of 1982, Annie convinced her mother that she wanted to walk the few blocks to school alone. She normally walked to school with her mom, but on this particular day, it was raining, and she convinced her mom and older brother she wanted to walk to school herself. She never made it to her kindergarten class. Her body was found on the Fort Ord Army base by Army investigators 2 days later, about 1 mile away from her elementary school, near a shooting range. She had been suffocated and assaulted. Investigators collected male DNA from her body and stored it to be used later when DNA technology was more advanced. In the year 2020, Monterey County District Attorney's Office Cold Case Task Force and the Seaside Police Department reopened Annie's case and submitted evidence for DNA testing. In 2022, it was confirmed that 70-year-old Robert John Lanou is the man responsible for taking Annie's life. His DNA matched the DNA found inside her body. He was a former Fort Ord soldier. Lanou was arrested on July 7th of 2022 in Nevada and charged with ending Annie's life. Seaside Police Chief Nicholas Borges said, "The guy is a complete monster. He's every person's nightmare. The world is a safer place with this guy off the streets." Borges says Lanou lived around the corner from Annie and her family. You could throw a rock from his house to hers, no problem, he says. He had to go and drive by her house every day when he left his home. Every single day in this man's life, he had to drive by her home. And there's no way you don't see 10 children about a property every single day. He just saw prey when he drove by. This guy was never on the radar, says Borges, never. This guy was totally hidden in plain view, just right there. Lanou, who lives in Reno, eventually left the area and spent more than 20 years in prison for assault offenses. He was in jail on a probation violation at the time of his arrest. Borges also said, "I wish that he would have been caught earlier because this guy went on with his life, just to create havoc and horror wherever he went." She was a 5-year-old little girl in this country to start her life, to make her family proud, and to just live the American dream, and that in and of itself is just heartbreaking. This family fled from Vietnam. They fled from war. The United States of America was paradise for this family. So never in their wildest dreams did they think coming here and being in this cute little town, even though it was rough back then, would result in losing their little angel. Monterey County District Attorney Janine Passione said, "A new type of DNA testing not previously available to earlier investigators identified Lanou as the suspect. The DNA process is a newer technology, but it hasn't been used in a criminal conviction previously. This involves DNA which doesn't come from the root of a hair. Lanou is currently being held in custody in the state of Nevada and is awaiting extradition back to California. He has yet to enter a plea. Anyone who has information about Annie's case is encouraged to contact the DA investigator Justin Bell at 831-755-5070.